The Henry Stickmin Collection is a wonderful indie game series full of references, memes, and all-around good fun. But what about the funniest and best fails from the series? That's what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the Top 10 Best Henry Stickmin Fails. Let's do it. At 10, Skyrim. If you've been watching this channel for a while, maybe around a year or so, you may know of my unhealthy obsession with Skyrim. Well, this fail definitely satisfies that craving while I'm playing an entirely different game. In the Fleeing the Complex chapter, Henry can sneak up behind two guards talking. You get a list of options about what to do as per usual. But if you're alone, the options are Command Melody, Whoopee Cushion, Sprint, and Pickpocket. Obviously, you choose Pickpocket because you want all their stuff, but as you do, you may notice a familiar UI. The original UI of Skyrim's inventory, not the Sky UI version unfortunately, but rather the original one intended for consoles. We get a look at the right guard's pockets, and in their inventory they seem to have normal things like a ring, gold, and some candies, but for some reason they have a game store receipt, probably a GameStop reference, which is honestly pretty topical, a 10-pound weight, and a spell tome for gas, which when used releases a cloud of poisonous gas that does 5 points of lingering damage for 15 seconds. Kinda like my gas, except mine does 15 points of lingering damage for 30 seconds. We love juvenile humor. And a 9, Energy. In the first real chapter of the Henry Stickmin saga, Escaping the Prison, Henry has the ability to use the energy drink from his cake to get out of his cell. Honestly, when I picked it, I thought I was going to be right. This guy goes berserk. I even make the Flash jokes because time literally stops for him. But he also gets super strength. You pull your cell doors apart and walk through it and watch everyone stand still. You even throw a guard into the trash and steal another's donut. However, once you get outside and literally smell your freedom, you have a heart attack due to all the caffeine and die. However, I think we can now all relate to the whole smelling fresh air thing. We're all inside, we wear masks when we go out, hopefully, and honestly, pulling my mask down a little bit for a breath of fresh air really does help lift my spirits when I'm walking back from getting groceries. So I can understand why people would do it when they got out of prison. But it's pretty funny when you think that you've done it and then you see that sweet fail screen. Maybe that's why my dad said he'd kick my ass if I started drinking Monster. And it ain't wasted. I think we all know the Grand Theft Auto series. The series that nobody's parents wanted them to play, but they let us anyway after some hard convincing and promising not to go to the strip club. No? Just me? Okay. Well, no matter what, I'm sure we all know the signature wasted text that shows up on screen when you get killed. Whether it's because you invaded a military compound or because you walked into a stranger, they got mad at you and you were acting in self-defense. Man, those police are freaking brutal. Anyway, this death comes from fleeing the complex and will have some serious earth bending, like when I messed around with the earth bending blade and sorcery mod on my own channel. That was fun. I don't know why the game combines the two or why getting a rock to the head counts as wasted because it was a pretty small rock, but not the size of like a bullet or anything. But I mean, it was still funny nonetheless. What was even funnier though, and at number 7, cheese! If you know me, you know I love cheese, okay? I'm the cheese king, it's my brand. So of course, when I saw that you had cheese as an option in stealing the diamond, I had to pick it. But of course, it wasn't the correct option, unfortunately. But the fail is pretty damn funny though. You just stop and take a break for some cheese, and that's it. Nobody finds you, nobody kills you, the cheese isn't poisoned, you just eat some cheese. Probably Swiss if I'm being honest, since of all the holes. But that's it. The only reason you fail is because the game stops you because it gets confused. It literally asks you why. You don't get any additional options, okay? The game just restarts. Maybe Innersloth is lactose intolerant, so they hate the fact that you can eat cheese, and they made you restart so that you don't get that sweet, sweet solid milk. I guess technically it's not sweet. But hey, I don't care. I will pick that every time at least once because I have to. All forms of cheese are my subjects, aside from fake cheese, okay? That can stay on the outskirts of town, outside the walls, okay? But also right up against it so that they can feel at least somewhat safe. You gotta let them feel protected, okay? You're their benevolent ruler, and then you can crush them. And at 6, quarantine. Faking an illness is always a kid's go-to way to get out of something. School, a trip to visit family friends that you don't want to deal with, getting out of jujitsu because you've already said that you wanted to quit but your parents won't let you, or a way to not play Skylanders with the kid next door. However, we can't all be Ferris Bueller and have a great day off. I, for example, was only allowed to stay in bed when I was sick, meaning I couldn't play video games, and sometimes not even watch YouTube, but I guess it was a good way to make sure I didn't fake getting sick too often. However, life does indeed imitate art in this fail because after coughing a few times in your cell, you'll get knocked out by a Russian guard and thrown into quarantine. You get thrown into a quarantine room with a load of other sick people, but these people are actually sick and really contagious. Someone even loses their hand while offering to shake yours. Yeah, considering how we're all staying inside for the most part, unless we need groceries or are living somewhere that actually listens to scientists, this is pretty accurate to how the world is right now. Henry Stickmin predicted 2020. Halfway through number 5, ejected. Completing the mission was the final chapter of the Henry Stickmin saga, released with the collection in 2020. And with this comes a whole space prison that you end up getting locked in by the Top Hat clan. If you choose the remote option to escape, you end up swinging and kicking the remote connected to a screen that's right in front of you. Pretty poor placement if you ask me. Anyway, if you choose this option, you'll end up hitting the eject button on the remote and opening a vent beneath you. You'll get sucked through and thrown out into space. However, even though we just saw Henry vent, text on screen will appear with the signature text of Henry was not the imposter from Innersloth's other game Among Us, which is honestly just hilarious, especially because there's an Among Us character floating out back that you can click on and collect. It's a great reference to their most popular game that ironically got popular that same year because of the Henry Stickmin saga. In 4, build. When near the end of completing the mission, there are plenty of options as to how you can get back to the ship and escape. One of those is building, where you just start building a bridge like any Minecraft player has done. It starts off well, you seem to have plenty of dirt blocks despite how far the ship appears to be. But eventually you do run out of blocks, but somehow Henry doesn't notice this and just keeps walking and falls, which is probably the most unbelievable of these fails, because like how would you not notice the fact that you didn't place a 1 meter long cube of dirt right in front of you when you're looking that way? I don't know, but we all love a good Minecraft reference, so it's good to see something other than a creeper or a diamond pickaxe, which seems to be the easiest Minecraft Easter eggs, which is kind of annoying. I just find the clip of him falling and hitting the ground hilarious for some reason, plus he drops stuff like he normally would if he was playing Minecraft, but does that mean that he can respawn? And if he does, where does he respawn? Would we find him outside the bank in the first chapter? Or in that rocket? Or did they place a bed down before he started towering? I don't know. He could have also just saved a load of blocks by just making a straight line instead of going up every so often, but hey. It's a shame, really. And at 3, Civ 5. I've never played a Civilization game. However, my roommate was pretty obsessed with them for a time, so when I saw Henry playing Civ 5 and infiltrating the airship, it was pretty funny. He ends up spending hours playing the game when he really is supposed to be getting intel. And there was like secret files right there. They had a folder labeled incriminating evidence. But Civ was so tempting, like he had to do it, right? Disappointingly, he ends up getting caught and the game is over, but we probably, just like the fail screen suggests, ask if we can just have one more turn. What do you think? Was Henry able to get one last turn, or was the Top Hat clan just not into Civilization games? Maybe they weren't good at them and they kept getting nuked by Gandhi. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. And at 2, Power Glove. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. And that statement remains true in the Henry Stickmin universe. What we first thought was going to be an incredible piece of technology just turned out to be a really weird controller that was difficult to use. However, the Power Glove lives on as one of the worst Nintendo peripherals. The worst being the useless Wii Sports attachments for the Wiimotes. But that didn't stop Henry from trying to use it to open the door in one of the many levels of infiltrating the airship. Renamed to Retro Glove in the collection release, the Power Glove is available in the Pure-Blooded Thief pathway. The fail screen just says that you look like an idiot, and it's true. But to add insult to injury, if you manage to lock Dave behind you, he can actually laugh at you when you try to use it, making the screen even funnier and all the more emotionally scarring.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, just keep your Power Gloves off her, pal, huh?
Finally, in at number 1, 360 no-scope. In fleeing the complex, you have a shootout with some guards, but you work with your friend and have some sick combinations of strategies, like sticking a grenade to one of the guards' faces with a crossbow bolt. However, if you decide to use the sniper rifle, you're in for some sick style points, bro. You're gonna MLG 360 no-scope trick shot these fools into next week, dog. That's what the kids say, right? Well, you actually do end up doing the 360 no-scope headshot trick shot, but not to any of the guards. To your friend. And to make matters even worse, the game actually replays it in slow motion and adds the really cringy effects that all the COD YouTubers used way back in the day. Yeah, look, I know I'm one to talk about being cringy, but hey, it's still pretty damn funny. This one actually made me physically laugh, and I'm glad that I got to see it happen for the first time. Thank you, game. This was just perfect. There we have it, friends, the top 10 best Henry Stickmin fails. Which fails are your favorite in the games, and which ones are the funniest to you? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.